12 signs of a narcissistic woman. Gentlemen, if you are suffering from narcissistic abuse, I would really encourage you to reach out to someone for support and love and understand that you're not alone. I know that it's really important for you guys to understand what is the difference between manipulation, erotic behavior, controlling behavior, and narcissism. And I think now more than ever these days, we're just slapping a tag on people that are just like narcissists, right? We're just saying that they're narcissists just because they might have boundaries, or because they might be controlling, or because they aren't just good people. And I think that a narcissist is a proven behavior, gentlemen. It is like I wouldn't say like a disease, but a diagnosis. And you want to make sure that when I give you these signs, it's not just one sign. Like you find yourself seeing 3, 4, or 5 of these signs. And you know, like when you're in a narcissistic relationship, it feels like you're in a hole, like in a bubble, or you hit a wall and you just can't get out. Like nothing is a resolution. There's no like fine line. There's no clarity. It's like you feel like so stuck. And that's where you want to remember. I want you to remember before we start this video, because I always want to say, like, we have this entitlement now that we're just slapping narcissism on everybody. And it's just really immature. And typically people who call other people narcissistic can be narcissistic themselves. So I just really want you to understand and watch this full video before you go and think that you're dating a narcissist, okay? So I want to give you signs in regards to that, and I'm going to give you details as well pertaining to each sign. So let's get into it. Number 1 is the excessive need for attention, typically with a woman and a man, but we're just going to talk about women right now because I'm in a man's community, and all my viewers most of the time are men. So excessive need for attention. So for example, you're going to notice that she's often becomes upset or distant if she doesn't receive attention, and you're going to notice that she probably tries to get attention outside of the relationship. She might escape and go to clubs and get attention and like not kind of call you or tell you or post it on her stories, kind of like I'm going to get you back for not giving me attention. And it's kind of like this center of envy that comes through. And I want you to remember that inside of like the need of attention, you're going to notice that she has like these dominant conversations with you that always shifts back to focusing on her and to her self-validation and just to about her, especially when you're noticing that you're trying to share important experiences about life or what you've been through, or kind of get an understanding of why she's behaving like that. She's always going to push it back into you instead of kind of assuming responsibility. And you're going to notice when she doesn't get that excessive attention, or she doesn't get attention in general from what she wants or what she sees to be true, she's going to go out there and try to get it and then probably use that against you. Example, well, you're not giving me the attention, so I'm sure another man would, or I just did this with my friends, what's the big deal? And then she's posting pictures with other guys and you guys are in a relationship like nothing happened and she didn't tell you about it. And you're like, are we in the Twilight Zone right now? Am I in the Matrix right now? And it kind of feels like this, okay? And it becomes actually emotionally abusive relationship when she starts gaslighting, and that's involved in a narcissistic woman too. So let's go into number 2 is the lack of empathy. You're going to notice that there's a huge lack of empathy. So I want to be clear though, because a covert narcissist can show empathy, but it works in their favor. I'm talking about she struggles to really connect emotions with feelings of others, showing little concern for others' feelings and needs. So you'll pick up on little things in the beginning. Let's just say like you're out to a restaurant and you're introduced her to friends, and your friend just got over a really bad breakup and she's still in love with the guy, and she's just like, you know, I'm just in a time and place where I just need to find myself. I'm going to school and I really hope to be back with him. And they were together for 8 years. And she gives her a comment instead of being like, I'm so sorry, I know that's hard, thanks for sharing that with me, whatever. And just says something like, oh, get over it, you'll be fine. Just go have sex with another guy, or something like this. Like she just avoids emotions. I'm not saying like she's a narcissist just because she says that. I'm just giving you examples of she constantly avoids other people's emotions and has a low sense of EQ for those type of conversations. She also lacks empathy with you, and she's dismissive of others. So she's dismissive with you. If someone else is hurting, she'll often downplay your hurt, like you're just doing this for attention, and it turns back on how it affects her. So you're just doing this for attention, and you know that I don't get turned on by you when you do this for attention. So it's always coming back to her, right? Like, it's okay if I was with other guys, now you're just jealous. And you're like, what? It's just not right. Of course it's gonna make me jealous, but it's not right. Oh, you're just insecure. And she puts it back on you, right? This is where the lack of empathy shows, but that's also a sign of gaslighting. See, you're gonna have both of those within each other. Typically, gaslighting and lack of empathy go hand in hand. Number 3 is manipulative behavior, like I talked about. So manipulative behavior means like situations of people she often takes advantage of, and she really doesn't have any concerns of the consequences of others, right? She doesn't really think through what are the consequences gonna be and how can this impact other people. It's really about I. And also too, she uses a high sense of emotional blackmail and sexual blackmail. She may use guilt or shame against you. Let's say you told her something in the past and she used it against you. I've had a client that was dating a very, very hardcore narcissist, and I had to help him, coach him through getting out of the relationship, because it's not easy, because when you're in a long-term relationship with a manipulative person or a narcissist, from my experience as well, you won't understand it until you're in it. You can be so strong, but there is a reason why you chose that person in the beginning, because you weren't strong then. And you can have a sense of strength in like yourself, but lack the sense of love for yourself, or lack the knowing of love for yourself that you get into relationships like this. And they're hard to get out of because you're so manipulated, and sometimes it's like you always are second guessing yourself. And I want you to understand that emotional blackmail is really, really prominent in a narcissistic woman, and sexual blackmail. So for example, I had a client that had kids, and he told her about something that happened to one of his kids a while ago that he really regretted, that he said to his kid, and it plays heavy on his heart. Whenever they get in an argument or she didn't get his way, she brought that up to him. And she used that as blackmail. Like, I'm going to remind him, or I'm going to tell his mom that you said this, because his mom didn't even know. It was like the secret between him and the son, and they had worked it out. And the son forgave him, but it was just like amount of guilt that he carried with him and shame. And he just opened up to her and talked to her about it. But she constantly used it against him. That's emotional blackmail. Sexual blackmail is like, I'll sleep with you if. You notice, like, if she gets her way, then she'll sleep with you. And that's like, she uses her sexuality to kind of get a result from you. The fourth one is a high sense of entitlement. So here's where a lot of people get judged wrong, I think. It's funny because a while ago, and I had a working relationship, and I had a sense of boundaries for my business, and this person crossed my boundaries and did things that were unethical, and I had to put my foot down. And because I put my foot down, I heard that they were calling me a narcissist. And it's funny because that's a sense of entitlement, right? That other person has. And sometimes, the biggest thing is people believe their own story so much. And that's what I've come to understand in life, is like, some people will believe their stories so much that they can't see the other person's perspective. And whenever I get in a conflict, I think it's so important, and how I have so much success in my life and I keep going and I keep thriving, is because whenever situations happen like this, I look at myself first. I don't look at that other person first. And I want to know, like, what did I do wrong first before I even get to what they're doing wrong, even though I have a high sense of probably anger within me. And so narcissistic people don't have that sense. They have a sense of entitlement as far as like everybody has to respect them, what they say, what they do, and they have to be having special treatment, right? And whatever they say goes, and whatever is wrong in their eyes should be wrong in yours. And this is where unrealistic expectations come through. So in that entitlement, they have a sense of unrealistic expectations, right? And they also have a sense of privilege without knowing that they have to earn that, right? So for example, like in friendships and people that you hire, like they don't get a sense of entitlement unless they earn it, right? So in human behavior, it's the same thing. It's like, no one is going to be your girlfriend or your boyfriend unless they earn that chair, right? Unless they earn that seat in your heart. And so that's the thing, is this high sense of entitlement. Number 5 is a superiority complex. You're going to notice that this woman is belittling other women probably in front of you, or other people, bashing your friends, talking down. Like, she really doesn't have anything positive to say. And when she does say something positive, it's every once in a while, and she'll always bring that up when you're always trying to tell her, like, listen, like, you're always talking down about my friends. You're always doing X, Y, Z. She'll be, well, that one time I did say this, and it's always that. And that's where you have like a covert narcissist or just somebody that is really good at manipulation, and they say those things just so they can plan that they can say those later. And let me be honest with you, gentlemen, when you're in a relationship with a narcissistic woman, like, your nervous system is not intact, you're all over the place, you feel insecure, you're lacking confidence, you're just like on edge all the time, you're working, you're thinking about her, you're literally going crazy. Maybe you can't sleep. And if you're in one of those relationships, I ask you to seek help. Book a private coaching down below. You can click the link down below, or you can book a call with me as well. But I think that it's really important that you seek help, you get guidance in these relationships. I remember I was coaching a gentleman named Sean 6-7 years ago. He was one of my clients that was always an attracting narcissistic woman. Until he worked with me, he now has been married and now has a kid, and been married for 4 years after he worked with me. And this woman and him FaceTime me once a year for new things, like when their engagement, their marriage, when they had a kid, they let me know, they sent me their wedding invite. And it was such a beautiful thing. And I saw him shift so much. And I remember that one time he looked at me when I saw him face to face at his wedding, and he just said, like, this is what you've been talking about. This is what true love is. I feel comfortable. I feel at ease. I feel safe. And I feel content. And a lot of people think content equals boring. No, content equals excitement, because think about it. When you feel relaxed and content, you can conquer the world, gentlemen. Next is explosive relationships and gaslighting. I'm going to put this a little bit together. So first is explosive relationships. Now, you notice that there's always a gain from her in regards to lying or disregarding your needs without hesitation, and like always yelling or always doing something that's so either volatile or just like punishment off the rail. Like, she'll ignore you for a week, and it's just like an extreme amount of explosiveness in the relationship. And then number 8 is the gaslighting, which goes hand in hand in this. She twists the truth. She manipulates the situation. She outright lies at times with you, and she lies to your face, and it drives you crazy. And you're like, what? And then you start thinking like, well, am I thinking about something wrong? Did I misunderstand something? And it starts to get in your head. And so what happens in gaslighting, it makes you question your own perspective of your memories and your own perspectives of situations that have actually happened. Number 9 is she's obsessed with how she's perceived. Like, she's obsessed with how people perceive her. So whenever you go out with friends, she wants you to dress or act a certain way, or not say something, or steer a conversation this way. She prioritizes sometimes looks over substance, really. And she uses her charm a lot to manipulate, when I was talking about sexual charm and so much more. I think it's important that she kind of draws a storyline of how you need to act in the appearance of others, or how you need to dress, or how she needs to be in the appearance of others. And she's really focused on like what other people think so much more than herself in the relationship. Number 10 is you're going to notice that she has a lack of genuine relationships. I want to be clear here. I think the older we get, the less genuine relationships that we do get, because many times, you elevate or you grow in life, and the people that were with you in your life aren't just your biggest motivators anymore. And as you grow older, I think you get more, things get more complex in life, because you notice like you maybe have a voice now, you have boundaries, your lifestyle has changed, and people always don't want the best for you. Even sometimes it's hard to say when they've been part of your life for a long time. And so many times, a lot of us will have maybe 1, 2, 3 genuine relationships in our life. But you'll notice with this woman, she might have many relationships and friendships, but lacks genuine, serious, good relationships. Like people that you can call home. She has more shallow relationships with other people, shallow relationships maybe from her past with other men and relationships. She avoids deep emotional bonds with people, and she just says, this is my best friend, but she lacks the emotional component, and it's more a surface level connection with her best friend. Number 11 is inconsistent behavior that goes along with manipulation. She gives you the hot and cold treatment. She's affectionate at times one moment and then not. Guys, this can be hot and cold behavior. Remember what I said. The most important part is to understand that these signs, there's more than just 1 or 2 or 3 of them. There's many of these signs that are showing you that she does have some narcissistic tendencies, and she may be a narcissist, okay? Number 12 becomes envious and competitive. Narcissistic people are always competitive. They're always envious. They're always jealous. They're always right? It just feels like you can't go anywhere. They're threatened by others. They always think other people are out to get them. And they're competitive at fault. So her need for constant competition to be better than everyone is a delusion. And you're going to notice that she's always chasing this delusion, and sometimes it leaves you feeling empty too. So gentlemen, if this speaks to you and you've watched this video, I would encourage you to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. And if you want some more support in regards to helping you get out of a toxic relationship or betting your chances with women, or want my advice on a current situation you're going through, I'd click the link right below to get some private coaching with me. I'll leave the link right below. And as always, if you want to continue watching, I'll have this next video over here, is when a woman knows that you're the one. As always, gentlemen, sending you so much love, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.